Hello, welcome to Bible Guru. Thank you for joining us in our journey through the Bible. Colossians chapter 1, beginning at verse 15. He, Jesus, is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. For by him all things were created, that are in heaven and that are on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created through him and for him. And he is before all things, and in him all things hold together. And he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he may have the preeminence. The art of writing letters by hand is all but lost. But there was a time people sent messages by writing on paper and placing the paper in an envelope, and once the message was in the envelope had to be sealed. Before the days of lickable, sticky, gross envelope sealing glue, people had to use a seal. The seal was often made of wax and offered the author one last opportunity to make a personal statement as part of the letter. The wax seal with an imprint. The imprint on that seal is the term used here for image. Jesus is the image, the imprint, the visible manifestation of the invisible God. The one making the imprint is invisible to us, but the imprint, the image, is Jesus. When Paul says Jesus was firstborn, we should not imply that Jesus was born in the same sense as the rest of us. Of course he was. That's what we all sing about on Christmas. But here Paul is talking about the events before creation, not the incarnation. Jesus is firstborn in the sense of inheritance. He gets the preeminent place in creation, partly because he was there before it. He also gets a place of preeminence because he created the universe. We'll talk about that creation in just a second. In the Jewish tradition, if you had three sons, the sons received the inheritance of the land. If you had three sons, you would divide your property in 4 parts. You give the third son 1 part, the second son 1 part, and the firstborn son would receive 2 parts. So if you had 4 sons, the firstborn would actually get twice as much as the other sons. The firstborn receives the greatest inheritance. And if you only have 1 son, that son gets everything. Even in today's world, the inventor of a thing gets credit and benefits for its creation. Marconi gets credit for creating the first radio transmission. Thomas Edison gets credit for creating the first functioning light bulb and electrical production system required to light it. The composer of a song has copyrights to receive some kind of remuneration whenever his or her song is produced or sold or played for profit. Jesus is our creator. He deserves to get credit and deserves some benefit from us. We are his creation, his invention, his work of art, his song. What can we give to Jesus? Our gratefulness, our heart, our love, our adoration, our devotion, even our life for his service. All of these would be appropriate returns on the investment that he has made in us by making us, by making you. Jesus is the one who holds all things together. He heads all things, and he resurrects. Jesus isn't just our creator, as Ralph Carmichael put it in the song that was really famous even still when I was a kid. In the stars his handiwork I see. On the wind he speaks with majesty. Sure, he ruleth over land and sea, but what is that to me? Till by faith I met him face to face, and I felt the wonder of his grace. Then I knew that he was more than just a God who didn't care, who lives way up there. Jesus is still active in his creation. He holds all things together. This might be related somehow to the strong force. Of all the atomic forces known to humanity, the strong force is by far the greatest. At the atomic scale, there are four forces that reign: gravity, electromagnetism, and the weak force, the force that drives everything apart, and the strong force. Gravity is the weakest of the forces at the atomic scale. The weak force is stronger, and electromagnetism is still stronger. To give an idea of scale, the constant for electromagnetism is roughly 10 to the 20th power more powerful than the constant representing gravity. The strong force is orders of magnitude greater than the electromagnetic force. In other words, the force that holds atoms together is the strongest force known, and when you release that force, the results are staggering. The force released from the breaking apart of nuclei of atoms is the power of atomic bombs. Jesus holds all things together. Now, I'm not saying that he is the strong force, just that his strength is related analogously. For this reason, he's the head of the church. The church is only strong when we as a community defer entirely to Jesus as the head, the leader, the one from whom all our streams of life and joy and peace and goodness and spirituality flow, and the one who brings us all together rather than breaking us apart. We as a community are proportionally weak inasmuch as we fail to allow him to lead. And as he leads, death is turned to life, sadness to joy, evil is overcome by good, light overcomes darkness, truth replaces gossip, defeat is swallowed up in victory. Bowing ourselves to the headship of Jesus results in resurrection in all aspects of our lives. A prayer for today. Father, fill us with your transforming power, the power of your Son. Hold us together. Do not allow the enemies of our souls to drive us apart. Make us agents of resurrection in every thing, structure, and person we touch today. In the name of the one who saves our souls from darkness and despair, Jesus. Amen.